Good afternoon, my little Ketonians. It's Crazy Keto Guy. Hello. And I am feeling a little bit crazy today. Main reason, my glasses are wonky as ever with my wonky head. And I think I nearly killed myself at the gymnasium. Um, I've decided, slightly off topic, because, well, not off topic, but slight change of start to this video. I've made quite a drastic change to my training today on the suggestion of this nice foreign gentleman that I am usually in the sauna with. I don't know if he's Romanian or Polish or Russian, but anyway, you know, you get the gist. Eastern European-y kind of guy. Really nice guy. And I was having a chat with him about all the stuff that I'm doing, and having a little whinge. As you know, weight loss is not the number 1 or number 2, 3 or 4 priority on my list. It is in fact number 5. But if I'm honest, I did expect to have lost a little bit more weight. So yeah, kind of a little bit grumpy about it. And he suggested that I started doing HIIT training, which is basically high intensity interval training. So did a little bit of research, watched a few YouTube videos, and today I did a 70% gym session. Not as long as I've been training, but I do feel, even though it was only probably 70% in duration, it was probably 110 in effort. As I say, so much so I nearly killed myself. I found it really good. So basically you go hell for leather for 40 seconds and then you have 20-second recovery, and then you go hell for leather for 40 seconds and then you have 20 seconds recovery, and you do this numerous times. I did 2 sessions on the exercise bike, which is 1 session less than I normally do. I did 1 session on the CrossFit, which is 1 session less than I normally do, and I did 1 session on the rower, which is the same amount of rower. So it was a good session. It was a good session, but oof, man, that HIIT stuff drains you. So my plan is, as the weeks progress, to just build it up and have like a regular routine. Today was a bit of like a trial, but I do really feel some good benefits coming out of it. Next, I want to talk about blood sugars and ketone levels. Again, a subject I spoke about many times. Blood sugar levels, because of my diabetes, my type 2 diabetes, is the number 1 reason why I started all of this. And without question, they have got better, so much better. HbA1c, which for those that are not familiar with the term, which is a blood test that gives you an average reading over about 12 weeks. Before I started all of this, used to be about 12.5, sometimes even higher than that. The first HbA1c I had 12 weeks into this change of life, the Ketogenic Diet, the Intermittent Fasting. My blood sugars were down to 6. Now, I'm currently in the next batch of 12 weeks, shall we say, and I have an HbA1c somewhere around the 17th of December. So I will find out prior to my Christmas break how good, bad or indifferent the last 12 weeks have been. But I have to be honest and say that I do think my HbA1c is going to be up slightly. I have no explanation apart from the fact that the number 2 reason I did all this was to bring my medication down, and I have brought that down massively as well. So inevitably, bring the medication down, blood sugars might go up slightly. Not tweaking the medication anymore, but in my opinion, if I was a betting man, I would say my HbA1c on or around the 17th of December when I get it tested, is going to be 7-ish. And I say ish because I think it could be as high as 7.5. I could be proved wrong. I'm only judging this on my daily readings. I do take my blood sugars and my ketones 3 times a day. First thing in the morning, if you like a fasted one, 2 hours normally, as close as I can, after my brunch, and then 2 hours after my dinner. Obviously different days, slightly different, especially on the 2 days that I do 24-hour fasts, because obviously there's no brunch and I'm just eating the 1 meal at the end of it. But looking at those results, I definitely think the blood sugars are up slightly. Not worryingly, not scary, well, at least I hope not, but I am anticipating my HbA1c to have gone up very slightly. Hopefully no more than 7.5, however. Ketones are a freaking mystery. I don't get it. Okay, right, look, I am the sciencey nerd when it comes to ketones. Absolutely crazy keto guy, sciencey nerd. I do everything, as far as I know. Well, maybe I'm telling a little porky pie. What don't I do? I don't drink enough water. Something that we're going to have to address. On days like today, gym days, I drink loads of water. But on other days, yeah, I do get a little bit lazy. So I don't know how much water I'm supposed to be drinking. I did do a keto calculator thingy that included water, and it said 4.7 litres of water. So that's going to be my mission. I don't know if that's crazily high or particularly low. And is that all liquids or is that purely water? So that's one thing. Second thing I don't do is count my macros. I don't think I'm going to do that before Christmas. I know that's like still a month away until actually Christmas. I'm going to do a few days where I'm going to test it out and see where I am, if I'm thereabouts. I need to redo my macros as well. I haven't done them for a little while. I've got a weigh-in, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Oh, nervous. And that will be the basis of then redoing my macros. But I do, after Christmas and the New Year break, the little treaty period, intend to start using an app. And I do start to intend to track those macros more closely. I'll probably have to review them in January anyway, because I'm sure there'll be a little impact from what I've sort of penned in being the naughty boy of keto over the Christmas period. I'm sure the weight might fluctuate. That's putting it nicely. Okay, so ketones, however, are confusing me. So I did a 24-hour fast. Let me get my sheets that have all of my data on, being the geeky, nerdy, crazy guy. I did a fast the other day, Saturday into Sunday. And I thought fasts were supposed to increase your ketones. Okay? So on Saturday, fasting, reading just the normal fasting in the morning, 0.9. Obviously eating no problem on Saturday. After brunch, went up to 6.1 on the blood sugar, so slightly down. 0.9 again on the ketones. And then after dinner, we were down at 5.9. So we'd started at 7.6. This is blood sugars. We started at 7.6, went down to 6.1. And after our dinner, we finished on 5.9. But of course, this is also after we've had all of our medication. But the blood sugars were up to 1.7. Now, we're not fasting at this stage, or we've started our fast when we finished our dinner, and we're 2 hours after that. But basically, yeah, so Saturday 0.9, 0.9, 1.2. 8 o'clock Saturday night, we start our fast, and we fast forward to Sunday morning, where we've now been fasting for probably 14 hours. This is probably about 10 o'clock in the morning Sunday, a bit of a lie-in. And my blood sugars are 7.1. They seem to be very high first thing in the morning. There's this dawn syndrome or something for diabetics and things the body does that releases glucose or whatever it is that causes it anyway. So again, 7.1, but ketones 0.5, barely a trace of ketones in the old body. Can't be good. Now the next reading is brunch, even though we didn't eat brunch. Remember, we're not eating until 8 o'clock at night. So we've now this was about 4 o'clock. So we're about 20 hours into our fast. And we have blood sugar 6.2, which is still a little bit high considering we ain't eaten for 20 hours. And ketones 0.7. So again, not much more than in the morning, yet we're 20 hours into the fast. To finish at night, after I've come out of my fast, 2 hours after my dinner, my nice cod loin, the MCT oil, blood sugars were actually down to 4.7. This is, as I say, 2 hours after I've eaten. Blood sugars were down to 4.7, which I love them, like sub-5 ones. Don't get too many of them recently, but yeah, we like anything in that bracket. But again, ketones 0.7. Now, I thought fasting equals body creates ketones, training, body eats ketones. However, today, Monday, the day after my 24-hour fast, find my notes, can't find it. So when I woke up this morning, 7.1 blood sugars, again, higher than I would like. Blood sugars, ketones, 0.9, so slightly higher than yesterday. I've just taken, so I had something to eat very early this morning, that after I'd done those results. Because I knew I was going to have quite a heavy training day, I had a couple of pieces of high-low bread, 10 grams of carbs, and some sardines. It was very yummy, very yummy. And then I had a coffee with some MCT oil in it as well. Anyway, long story short, a hellish training session with my HIIT training, and then I do a lot. I know this people go, oh bloody hell, shitting in the jacuzzi. I do a lot in the sauna with hypothermic conditioning, steam room, jacuzzi as well, and then I do a contrast showering at the end. Anyway, long story short, spent about 3 hours in the gym, got home, thought I'll take me readings. Blood sugars 6.3, so that's again a little bit higher than I would like. But ketones 2.3, which I love. We want it in that optimal range, 1.5 to 3. So I'm really chuffed with the ketone reading, but I don't get it. It's not during a fasting period. It's after an exercise period, and a hellish, I'm going to say it again, hellish exercise period. So I don't know, I'm confused with ketones, but I do all the right stuff in my opinion. I have MCT oil, I have no more than 20 grams of carbs a day, I'm drinking a lot of caffeine, I'm looking at my electrolytes. I don't know, I need someone to do me like a bullet point, the 5 most important things to get into and stay in ketosis, because I'm confused. Okay, so not having 3 meals today. I've got the blender bottle out, 45 ounces, which apparently is 1.6 litres. I didn't fill it all the way up, but we have this lovely, now I've got to be careful here, with the product placement. I have Alpro unsweetened almond drink. I keep saying milk, but of course you cannot milk an almond. Maybe you can. Maybe I just don't realise. Which is delish. Put a big heaped scoop of coffee, a really strong coffee. And then I do have two other products in here, and I'm going to mention them. I have Perfect Keto's MCT powder oil powder. Said that the wrong way around. Perfect Keto's, rewind, edit. Perfect Keto's MCT oil powder. And Perfect Keto's collagen. One is chocolate flavored, do like a bit of chocolate, and one is salted caramel. So it's a nice little mixture with the coffee, the chocolate, the salted caramel. However, I just want to put a little disclaimer in. I was not happy with and will not be trying the exogenous ketones. I think the jury is out on the benefits of exogenous ketones. So basically ketones you put in your body externally as opposed to create in your body. Everyone that I value, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, Professor Benjamin Bickman, and also Thomas DeLoyer, have all said they have some reservations about exogenous ketones. For the price I paid, the results that I got, I will not be endorsing Perfect Keto. I'm quite happy with the MCT oil powder. I'm quite happy with the collagen. I have a couple of portions left. I have dragged it out, and I will obviously use it up. But again, the cost of it, I think it's a luxury. So yeah, I'll leave that up to you. But it tastes nice, and hopefully it's having some benefits, even though with all the stuff that I'm doing, how do you know what bit's working and what bit's not? I guess if I stop taking it and I suddenly feel rubbish, then we'll know. Quick swig and then we'll be back. Okay. With no further ado, weight loss, hopefully. As people that watched my last video will remember, I was disappointed, to put it mildly. I hadn't weighed in for 2 weeks, and when I weighed in, the first week, which admittedly was a short week, it was only a 6-day week, I'd put 5 pound. Yeah, I was down to 16.9, which I was ecstatic about, in the 16s, well ahead of schedule. But the following week, I went back up to 17 stone. So if my maths is right, I put on 5 stone. I put on some body fat percentage. That seems to be yo-yoing like a mofo. Anyway, the following week, which was last week, no, sorry, the week before, on the 18th of November, today is the 25th, on the 18th of November, so the week before that, I'd lost 4 of the 5 pound that I'd put on, which was kind of a relief. Back down into the 16s, I was 16.10. I'd shaved off some of the body fat, just over 2%. I'm still on this scale, not the, well, I don't know if lightest is the wrong word. I know on one scale, I'm pretty sure, I'm sorry, I'm just going to squidge through it quickly. I mean, when I started on the 1st of July, I was 42% body fat. Last week I was 33.3, so like 8.7. But I'm pretty sure I had one reading. Yeah, and it was on the Ballantyne's scales, which is the ones for last week and also today. I was down at 32.8. But I seem to have, like, the last probably 6-7 weeks, I do seem to be bouncing, probably the wrong word. I do seem to be bouncing between 33 and 36. And it's weird, it's just like, and it's not even relevant to weight loss. You know, one week I'll lose weight, but put on body fat. The next week I'll do it the other way around. So I don't know. So what am I hoping for today? Well, last week was a very good week in some ways, but it was also a little experiment, and I'm just wondering if I'm going to pay for that experiment. And the experiment was I didn't train, as in the cardio side of my training. I'm not doing any resistance stuff pretty much due to my dodgy shoulder that I always mention and whinge about. Finally seeing the physio on Thursday, so hopefully we're going to make some inroads into that. But yeah, pretty much I do exercise bike, I do cross trainer, that one. I do rowing. I do 1,000 kms on the rower in about 5 minutes ish, a little bit either side depending how energetic I am. And then I do a few exercises that are supposed to be geared towards helping the shoulder, but I mean today I didn't even do that. But last week I totally cut out all cardio. All I was doing was my diet, my intermittent fasting, hypothermic conditioning in the sauna, and a little bit, not as much as I would have liked, of the cold therapy and contrast showers. And I just wanted to see if I took a week out from doing the grunt stuff, the cardio stuff, whether I could maintain my weight or potentially lose weight. Might come back to bite me in the arse. I've got to accept that. So we're going to go to that in a minute. But everything else, all the other boxes were pretty much ticked. I was happy with my diet last week. I was happy with my intermittent fasting last week. I got all the 2 16 hours, the 2 24 hours in. Yeah, as I say, the only thing I was struggling with last week was the cold therapy, actually. Just purely because it's got really cold in the UK, and subsequently the heating is now jammed on pretty much. So it's getting very hard to get it down under 17 degrees, which is ultimately where we need it for cold therapy. So here we go. Don't know why I did that voice. So ideally I'm not back. Oh yes, I'm the great pretender. Okay, it's not really that great, but I'm happy. We're back down to 16.9. Okay, so we've managed to chip away. I just want to check the KGS. Yeah, exactly the same weight that I was basically 3 weeks ago. I don't know why I'm getting excited. Again, spookily, body fat slightly up. Now, the problem I have with body fat percentage and body fat mass is I'm in a range that is still deemed as obese. Okay, so 16.9. I'm 5'10". Again, if I sort of stand up on my tippy toes, I am at that age now where I'm starting to get shorter, I believe. So I never know. One result says I'm 5'11.5", and then the next week I'm 5'9.6". But my body fat is too high on both scales, body fat percentage and body fat mass. So body fat mass is 36.5, and I need to be under 30.2. So quite a way to go. I don't remember. Actually, let me just have a quick look. Body fat mass started off at 48.6. 48. So, all right, that's pretty good. Down 12%. That's got to be good. That's got to be an improvement. But I'm still deemed as having like a poor, obese, however you want to word it. So yeah, this is for those that want to see it for proof. 16.9. There we go. That's better. 5'10". 1.78 meters, body mass, and all of that. I don't really look at BMI. I remember watching a video and the guy sort of saying like BMI is pretty irrelevant. So, but again, that's come down a little bit, not a lot. So anyway, mini happy. It could have been so much worse. I think next Monday. So a target that I set myself well, not many months, but a few months back, was to be 16.4 by the 23rd of December, before the Christmassy break. So we're on schedule. We've got 5 pounds to lose in 4 weeks, including this week, where we've started to introduce the HIIT training. Now, what I'm hoping to see is not only to hit my target, I'd like to go a pound or 2 under my target, if I'm honest, and I would like to see through the HIIT training a little bit more weight loss. I'm not going to say a number, sorry, not fat loss. So on them 2 stats, the body fat percentage and the body fat mass, I would like to see them come down by a couple of percent. Let's say that, around 32% on body fat percentage and 34 on the body fat mass. I said I wasn't going to say a number, and I just did. So anyway, so that's the weigh-in done. I don't really think, sorry, just putting these away for next week when we do the one with the HIIT training included. I don't think there's really too much else to talk about, and that's good, because that means I'm going to wrap this up inside of the 30-minute window. And as we know, some of my videos have gone on just a little bit longer than that. So yeah, I'm happy that I had a week away from the cardio training. I gave my body a good chance to have a little bit more extra recovery. I still managed to shave off a pound. This week I'm back at the gym. Was today. I've got Wednesday and Friday, so I'm trying to hit the gym 3 days a week as opposed to the 2 that I was managing before. I've got all of my meals planned for the week and a couple of options should I have a change of heart about 1 or 2 things. Intermittent fasting all lined up, all the usual stuff. So yeah, I'm feeling in a good place, and now it's sort of like a charge towards that. I'm still looking forward to Christmas. I'm definitely going to be a naughty crazy keto guy at Christmas, but that being said, we'll still try and ketify the meals when possible. As I say, I have definitely earmarked a few treats that just can't be keto, basically, because again, I'm going to underline this: quality of life is vital, but enjoyment of life is important. What is the point of going through life if you're just moody, grumpy, unhappy people? So I'm sorry if that, as I say, goes against the grain with the clean keto people. Maybe as I progress through this journey, I'll become more clean as I go along. I do feel like I'm flying the flag, but yeah, for Christmas and the New Year, I've penned in 5 days of making sure I don't deprive myself of the treats. So that's it. Another video brought to you by Crazy Keto Guy. I think there's about 2 people that have ever watched my videos, so it's almost like I'm one of them, and it's almost like I'm talking to myself. But underneath there is a subscribe button. There's also a little bell that you can press if you want to be notified when I post my next videos. Please feel free to share, like, get my name out there. I want to be famous. Actually, I'm going to go over 30 minutes now because I just want to add one last thing. Ladies, you're terrible. You have a dig at us men, and rightfully so, because we can be a little bit Neanderthal and red-blooded. I was having a conversation in the sauna, and I was talking to two what I would call mature 40, 50 something women about health and my new journey. And yeah, I was being that crazy guy. And we was talking about stuff, and I was saying how, oh, you know, how low carb diets can help, how intermittent fasting can help, blah, 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 selling all of the things. And I'll be honest, they had zero freaking interest. A guy come in who, again, I've had many a conversation with, fairly knowledgeable on stuff, maybe, you know, a little bit raw, but fairly knowledgeable. And he's I'm not afraid to say this, a really good looking guy. He's younger than me, he's probably in his mid to late 20s, very much a beefcake, ripped. But he'd already told me that he was born that way. He'd never really worked hard for it. He'd never had to diet, or didn't even matter if he trained. He was just genetically enhanced somehow, his DNA, whatever. He come in, joined in the conversation, and oh my God, talk about, they were so interested in listening to what he had to say that was basically what I'd already said. And if I'm honest, said it so much better, so much more informative. It gets quite wet in the sauna with the you know, the steam and the heat. Let's just say they were even hotter, just drooling over this guy. So I do wonder at times if I was a Thomas Delore and all muscly and I could lift up my t-shirt. Trust me, you don't want to see it. Whether I'd get some followers, but anyway, we'll find out in about 2 years' time. That's my ETA on when I believe I will have, if not the complete transformation. I have set myself a 2 to 3 year window to achieve. Even though I'll be getting on by then, I'll be 54. Hold. I do think by then this face will start to look a bit different. This is me in 2 years' time. And the body will be amazing. I'll be able to fire up. Oh, come on, where's the guns? Fire up the guns. And yeah, I definitely want to be able to do that Thomas Delore thing where he lifts his t-shirt and does the biceps at the same time. That's a good move, Thomas. You got that nailed. Right, anyway, much love, Ketonians, from Crazy Keto Guy. Give everyone a big cuddle, but don't get arrested.